and gentlemen, the next item on our agenda for the workshop is Finance and Facilities Committee report. We'll go to Chair Caswell.
All right, thank you. We have an update and a presentation this evening. First, I think Scott, you're going to give us, Scott Snackenberg is going to give us the update on enrollment.
This will be quick. It's the main show. So as of this morning, we had just over 1,500 students, almost 9,000 credits for the summer term. That's an increase of 18% in terms of credits. We're well above where we were budgeted for the summer term, so we're doing quite well. It started for the first 6 weeks classes and the 12-week classes last week, and another 6 weeks or so, the second part of the summer term starts, so there's still more enrollment to come for that term. For fall, we're over 1,800 students and over 21,000 credits. That's running 18% up in terms of students, 16% up in terms of credits. For a while, we'd had differences with the nursing cohorts. That's all straightened out now, so this is an apples-to-apples comparison. New students, we have 373 versus 376 at the same time last year. That's been slowly closing week by week. Returning students are up by 275, so there's a big increase at this point in returning students. We're only about a little over a third of the way through, so it's a little too early to be celebrating about it. We still have a lot of work to do. We have several different initiatives we're working on throughout the summer. We are having a communication plan going out to adult students in the region, about 10,000 of them. They've been chosen by a proprietary algorithm developed by College App that as likely to go to community college, and we're sending out a series of emails to those students to try to get them to enroll. For continuing students, we have, particularly for students who have stopped out, we're doing outreach again like we did last summer, but trying to double what we did last summer. And for the students, new students in the pipeline, we're actually sending a big packet to their home, welcoming them to DCC, an acceptance packet with lots of information about the college, trying to get it on the dining room table in front of parents to help push their students to go here. Applications are up only about 1%. It's been running 1% to 2% right along throughout this whole cycle. And as I've said before, they're, I think, a little weaker than in the past because more are coming in through the SUNY app. But I think we're doing a good job so far in terms of trying to get students through the cycle. The FAFSA issue, it's still been difficult for students, but we have 40 students coming to the campus tomorrow, all new students who are going to be getting help finishing the FAFSA. Most of them come with their parents, and we get it knocked out right there. The residence hall, we have 127 deposits versus 100 at the same time last year, so we're running well up there as well. And that's what I have. Any questions?
Thank you, Scott.
And the second item that we have here is a presentation on the 24-25 operating budget. So Adam Ruffin would take us through that.
All right, good evening. So hopefully nothing during this presentation in the revenue, expenses, and overall budget presentation is anything new. We have slightly refined the numbers as we moved along the month to get to the final presentation. But from an overall standpoint, nothing has really changed from those presentations. So this should be just a refresher on those. Okay. Help. Nope, just got to turn it on. That's all. There we go. So I'm going to go through some annual report data, and this comes out of a SUNY annual report, and it's taken from information that we submit to SUNY every year. So this is based on 22-23 actual data, and it's a combination of all SUNY community colleges, and it kind of just provides a benchmark for, how we compare to everybody. Then I'll go through the revenue, expenses, and again the proposed budget. So some of the SUNY annual report data, and the reason why this is helpful, I think, is because it really provides a picture of how we're doing as a college fiscally. And so you'll see this first thing here, net operating cost. We operate at $11,336 per FTE. This is the 28th lowest in the community colleges out of all 30 of them. If you backed out FIT, because they are a four-year institution as well, number only falls down to 14,404. So it doesn't make a huge difference if FIT is included in that calculation. But this just shows that historically we are, pretty fiscally responsible with our funds, considering the amount of students that we have enrolled here. Last year, we were at 11,139, so we went up about $200. We were also ranked 25th last year out of the 30, so we've improved a little bit overall compared to our counterparts. If we were to break it out by cost by function of net operating costs as a percentage, roughly 49% of our funding goes to instruction. This is all academic, both credit and non-credit courses. The SUNY average is 39%, so we're well above our peers as far as allocating funding to the instruction side. Student services, about 11%, SUNY average about 10.4%, so we're allocating slightly more than the average. For the maintenance and operations, we're at about 10%. That's below the average of about 15%, so we don't allocate as much to our facilities. And then general administration, 9% compared to the SUNY average of 12%. And general administration is your executive level salaries, campus, the fiscal operations, Bursar, HR. So it's that side of that information that's making up the general administration. So we are below average for that. And then if you look system-wide, we're 8th largest community college, 4,642 FTEs. Again, this is last year's data. We expect that number to jump up a little bit just because of the inroads that we made this year with enrollment. I'll be interested to see how we fall in comparison with other community colleges as far as total FTEs, as well as some of that net operating costs, as we have grown enrollment significantly compared to what we predicted this fiscal year. So onto the revenues. Again, nothing new here. Just kind of reiterate what we've been discussing the past several months. Proposed revenue tuition, 4.2% increase. The county sponsorship increase at 2%. That equates to $342,473. It'll bring them up to just over $17.46 million. And then the state aid is the base, the funding floor for the funding that we got this fiscal year. They have, again, added the $8 million to the overall base across community colleges, but we do not know what that distribution is going to be yet. There are several scenarios that we can make based on equity or equitable distribution. It could run anywhere between $240,000 to $250,000, but we just don't know what it's going to look like, and we have been instructed by SUNY to not include this into our revenue forecast for the next fiscal year, so we have not done that. If we look at the proposed tuition increase, we're going from per semester, it's a $100 increase to $2,500. For the academic year, it's $200 to up to $5,000 per year. The part-time tuition going from $200 to $208 per credit hour. The total fiscal impact for that increase is just over $666,000. And this is a budget comparison where if we were not to have an increase, the projections that we're projecting would be $666,000 less. This is not a comparison to last fiscal year or this current fiscal year. And then if you look at the overall tuition increase, the past 4 years, we've increased a total of 12.4%. The SUNY average is 7.8%. If we look at tuition a little bit closer across the community colleges, this is proposed tuition for the 24-25 fiscal year. These are not approved yet. Some boards may have approved them, may not have approved them as of this time, but this was a survey done by SUNY administration to get kind of a look and feel for what we are anticipating tuition to be for next year. So these are estimated tuition rates. We are at $5,000 for the academic year, so we are now the second lowest, $20 ahead of Westchester. The SUNY average is estimated to be about $5,648, and then you can see there the distribution of how our counterparts in the local area are for their tuition. If we're to look at enrollment projections, this is a budget-to-budget comparison, so the numbers do look large, but we have to do a catch-up to the results we had for this academic year as a baseline, and then predict 3% increase over this growth from this year. So that's why these numbers are a little bit larger than you would expect, but that is a good thing. So full-time enrollment is projected to be up about 10.42%, part-time 18%, and then the fiscal impact that this has from budget to budget is just shy of $3 million. And again, this is just catching us up to our results from this academic year into the next year. So that's really good progress that we've made. Net non-tuition revenue assumptions. Again, the chargeback revenue is going down, but this is a correlation between the increase in revenues as compared to the increase in expenses. We have a larger increase in the revenue stream, so that kind of reflects in the calculation to that chargeback rate. So that rate has gone down slightly because of that, so that's why the chargeback is going to be less, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Technology fee is up about $159,000, primarily tied to higher enrollment projections. And then other fees are up just over $1 million, and these are really related to higher interest returns on our fund balance, as well as the SUNY Learning Network fees. In the past, we had waived these fees. These are the online course fees. And then we just started charging the fee for those online network fees, and that's for the increase of the over $1 million on the other fees section. And then credit-free revenue is projected to be flat to prior years. So this is kind of the proposed revenues in the major categories here. Again, tuition is going up fairly significantly to catch up from our current projections. The out-of-state non-resident projecting to go up slightly. There you see the chargeback revenue going down because of that calculation and the revenue and expense calculation. The college and high school is going up. Again, we estimated a little bit lower this current fiscal year. We weren't sure the impact of the charging of the 1/3 tuition for those high school students. And this is kind of catching up to actuals for this year we've had and then projections moving forward. Sponsored contribution going up 2%. State aid, the base aid is flat, but there is an increase in our rental aid reimbursement. It went from, $413,000 to $428,000, so we did get an increase in that, and that's to reimburse us for the Fishkill and our Family Partnership Center. And then there's the other revenue line that's going up, just over $1 million there, or just shy of $1 million. Again, interest in the SUNY Learning Network fees in that line there. So our total proposed budget for revenues is just over $64 million. It's $64,272,286. And that's compared to $60 million this year, so that's a pretty good increase one year to the next, considering our enrollment. This is just a breakout of, those revenue streams. So the tuition there is making about 32% of our revenue, sponsor contribution 27%, and then state aid 26%, and then those other revenue streams broken out there in the other categories. This doesn't change much year to year, but the bigger thing that people like to see is kind of that distribution between the three main categories. So this is how that's broken out. Then in the proposed expense side, overall we're looking at an increase in expenses to $66,701,755. As we look at this in a little bit more detail, you can see the salaries there make up the majority of the expenses at 59%, benefits 25%. These are expenses that are a little bit tougher to control. They have the contractual obligations in them, so they do increase. However, if you look there, you can see $630,000 increase, or 1.6 over prior year. That's really good considering contractual obligations we have with both the union contracts, management confidential. But there's a couple things behind this. One, the CSEA contract ends December 31st, so we have not included increases for CSEA beyond that, so we have not included that in the budget. We also, during the course of the year, took a strategic look at vacant positions. We were able to identify positions that no longer were in line with the strategic vision of the college. We reallocated those funds to new positions that did fall within that strategic vision. But overall, we did save about 175 from vacant positions that we realigned to the fund balance. So there was a savings in that as well. So that's why that increase is not as large as you would think. We will have to do a catch-up once CSEA finalizes their contract, but we just didn't want to put anything in there for them to use in negotiations. Benefits going up about 4.4%, mostly due to health insurance, both from the college side, but also the county side for CSEA. We are also having a planned increase for dental insurance. We're going out for an RFP for dental the next couple of weeks, so we anticipate an increase in that, probably around January 1st timeframe. And then contractual obligations going up about $257,000, 2.6% increase over prior years. Most of this is due to either contractual obligations we have through our maintenance contracts or IT contracts, but we also did factor in an increase for legal services because we will be going into negotiations for both the Dutchess United Educator contracts later this year. So overall, the proposed budget is here. Again, the revenue stream about $64.27 million against expenses of $66.7 million. Leaves us an operating deficit of $2.4 million. This is significant progress. You recall this current fiscal year, we went into the budget year at a $5 million deficit, just shy of $5 million. So we really cut that in half, a little bit more than half. So that's significant progress. I didn't expect to get that much progress in 1 year, but it really is a testament to the enrollment team in getting that enrollment going and really making up that deficit in the revenue side. But it also goes back to looking at vacant positions, realignment of those funds, and being more strategic in how we appropriate funds moving forward. So again, significant progress and really kind of pleased with how this budget has come out. So with that, I will take any questions. Fantastic.
You presented this for every committee so for a while. So. But thank you, Adam.
Yep.
Anything else, Steve?
No. In addition to these two presentations, we had we reviewed the submissions on a number of RFPs, and we'll be bringing those bid forward at the board meeting, so I'll go into more detail at the board meeting.
Thank you. Liaison report is the next item on the agenda. Trustee Costello, DCC Foundation.
Well, good evening, everyone. Our board meeting was held on 5/23. New scholarship commitments were gone over, along with the $300,000 that was given out this spring. There is a book here on, it should have been in your packets, and a nicely produced book, for that matter, on the scholarships that were given out. We did go over the new staff introductions, a report on scholarships and major gifts, update on policies, update on consultants. Some of the general updates were the 418 Holocaust Lecture, planned giving website, campus presentation, and stewardship. A couple of upcoming save the dates, including the Conklin Lecture, which is October the 3rd, and the Raitano Endowed Chair, October the 24th. Update on the Centers of Excellence. Reports were given on the gala. Great report, with the evening generating $163,360 and a net income of $94,947, so nearly $95,000. So congratulations to Diana and the team. Silent auction itself raised $16,500, and as you know, that's direct revenue. Golf tournament was held on May the 20th and generated $75,657 with an income of $38,070. Craft Fair is scheduled for November the 30th and December the 1st this year. Alumni Engineering event will be May the 11th at Black Snake Brewery. I'm sorry, took place on May the 11th. That already went by. I missed that one. Fundraising update. Spring Appeal will go out. 8,000 letters coming up. You should receive them anytime, if not already. And also the Summer Appeal was just around the corner. Website update was also received, marketing update, along with Diana's update on, or she did provide a presentation, I should say, to the campus. If anyone would like to see that presentation from the foundation, it was very comprehensive and well done. That concludes the report.
Any questions for Frank? Very well done. Congratulations, Diana, as always, on a successful year of fundraising. The next item on the agenda is the DCC Association. We haven't had a meeting since my last report, but our next meeting will be in June in the 20s, I think, somewhere. So a Monday. I'll report back then. If there's nothing else for our workshop meeting, then may I go ahead and call to order our regular meeting at 6:35. My since it's your last meeting, do you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I know.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Trustee Chinkan. Ms. Ponticello, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Frank Costello,
Present.
Mr. Stephen Caswell,
Present?
Ms. Maya Chinkan. Present. Ms. Dara Cloud, Mr. Michael Dupree,
Present.
Ms. Angela Flesland,
Present.
Ms. Lisa Gardy, Mr. Ibis Guzman,
Present.
Ms. Evelyn Panici,
Present.
Ms. Linda Pratt,
Present.
quorum present.
Thank you. I'm making a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? I believe there's no one signed up for public comment tonight. Thank you. The next item on the agenda will be consideration of the minutes for our April 30th meeting. Everyone had a chance to read them?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Committee reports, we're back. Only this time tonight, Lisa Gardy can't, or the chair of the committee can't join us, so we're going to work Maya hard.
So on Wednesday, May 8th is when the Committee of Academic and Student Affairs met. We had two presentations, cybersecurity with Michael Soltish, the Acting Associate Dean of Administration for Information Technology. Soltish provided the committee with a presentation of cybersecurity, and campus safety, Russell Tompkins, provided the committee with a presentation, campus safety, informational updates. Dr. Raymond Houston from the nursing program and Centers of Excellence provide the committee with updates on the nursing program and the concept for the Center of Excellence. New policies, the committee received updates on the admissions age requirement policy, artificial intelligence exploration and integration charge, and policy on board policy development. Commencement exercises, Dr. Durham provided the committee with updates on all end of the semester commencement exercises. That's it.
Any questions for Maya? Thank you, and fast. The next committee report would be board policy, Chair Guzman.
The Board Policy Committee met also on Wednesday, May 8th. We went over a few policies. The first one we did was admissions age requirement policy. Dr. Rogers provided the committee with an update on the admission age requirement policy. The college would like to revise the policy further after hearing comments and concerns from the college community at the public hearing last month. Additionally, the college will seek legal input. We will bring this policy forward, hopefully July board meeting, hopefully for the consideration and approval. We also went over the artificial intelligence, AI, exploration and integration charge. The committee was updated about this charge. Feedback from the campus community has been positive from what we understand. This charge will be brought for consideration and approval at this board meeting. We went over the board policy development as well. We received some updates, and that will be brought forward tonight as well. Sexual harassment and sexual assault policy. Dr. Rogers spoke to the committee about the sexual harassment and sexual assault policy. Advised the committee that updates to this policy will be forthcoming as a result of the final Title IX ruling. The college is in process of working with legal counsel to ensure the college is complying when the new ruling is put into place. A revised policy will be brought forward for consideration and approval in hopefully the July timeframe. And we also did go over some commencement exercises of year end. And I will look at the paperwork to bring forward the policies.
Are there any questions for Ibis
On the
before he
PD.
introduces the resolutions?
I know policy is so exciting. Everybody-
Actually, to be honest, I have fun at your committee meetings. I do.
May I ask why?
Nerd.
May I ask why? Alright, so we have our stuff here. Yep, so I bring forward Resolution 2024-42, and I offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas, in keeping with good governance practices, the Board of Trustees Policy Committee reviews the college policies on a regular basis, and whereas to comply with regulations, a policy on board policy development has been written, and the Policy Committee finds said policy to be appropriate to the needs of the college now, and therefore be it resolved that based upon the recommendations of the Board, the Policy Committee, and the review by the Board of Trustees, the attached policy on board policy development, which shall be made part of the official minutes of this meeting, is hereby approved, and be it further resolved that this policy shall be effective immediately, and be it further resolved that the board reconsider this policy again within 5 years or earlier, should it be determined revisions are needed prior to the scheduled review date.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you. And I bring forward Resolution 2024-43 and offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas in keeping with good governance practices, the Board of Trustees Policy Committee reviews the college's policies on a regular basis, and whereas to comply with regulations, a charge for the exploration and integration of artificial intelligence, AI, at Dutchess Community College has been written, and whereas the Policy Committee finds said charge to be appropriate to the needs of the college now, therefore be it resolved that based upon the recommendation of the Policy Committee and review by the Board of Trustees, the attached charge for the exploration and integration of artificial intelligence, AI, at Dutchess Community College, which shall be made part of the official minutes of this meeting, is hereby approved, and be it further resolved that this charge shall be effective immediately, and be it further resolved that the board reconsider this charge again within 5 years or earlier, should it be determined revisions are needed prior to the scheduled review date.
Second.
Thank you, Linda. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you, Ibis. Next item on the agenda is Finance and Facilities, and take it away, Steve. You have the bulk of the evening.
I do. Thank you. So the Finance and Facilities Committee met on Monday, May 13th. We had a number of presentations that we received that night. Brian Deutsch spoke to the committee about the college's communication frequency license. Michael Soltish, Acting Associate Dean of Administration for Information Technology, provided the committee with a presentation on cybersecurity. Russell Tompkins, Chief of Safety and Security, provided the committee with a presentation on campus security. Adam Ruthven took us through the proposed budget, which you saw here in workshop earlier tonight. In addition to that, Scott Snackenberg provided the committee with an update on the supplemental report, which will be submitted to Middle States in the September timeframe. And Dr. Jordan gave us an update on all of the end of semester, end of year commencement exercises and things that we were able to participate in. And the last item, the committee reviewed all of the resolutions and bid that I'm about to go through in a minute. The committee looked through all of the bid submissions. There was, many of them had several submissions, 8 or 10 submissions on some of them. So, you know, we went through each and every one and concluded on who would be awarded, and I will bring those forward now.
Thank you, Steve.
So the first one, Resolution 2024-44. I offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas the annual operating budget request for Dutchess Community College for the period of September 1, 2024 through August 31st, 2025 has been developed in accordance with guidelines furnished by the State University of New York, and whereas the requirement for operating expenditures has been determined to be $66,701,755, now therefore be it resolved that the operating budget for Dutchess Community College for the fiscal year September 1, 2024 through October 31st, 2025 in the amount of $66,701,755 with anticipated funding from the County of Dutchess by appropriation from fiscal year 2025 of $17,466,129 is hereby approved. Is there a second?
I'm good. That would be 17 million, by the
Yeah.
way.
For
I
what?
wish it was just
Millions for all
1,000.
of them.
I'm sure the legislators do too.
Okay, so I'll read the last part. The County of Dutchess by appropriation from fiscal year 2025 of $17,466,129.
Second.
Thank you, Linda.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any nays or abstentions? Motion carries.
All right, next I offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas the tuition and fee schedule and refund policy are prepared each year following the guidelines of the State University of New York, and whereas the Board of Trustees reviews the tuition and fee schedule and the refund policy as part of the annual budget process, and whereas it is necessary for the Board of Trustees to approve these fees each year, now therefore be it resolved that the tuition and fee schedule and refund policy for fiscal year 2024-2025, which is attached and shall be made part of the official minutes of this meeting, are hereby approved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, so next we'll go on to bids that are being brought forward from the RFPs. The first one, Resolution 2024-46. They offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Resolved that the bid received from, for the tree removal, pruning, and stump grinding in accordance with the specifications be awarded to Alpine Tree Services Incorporated of Hopewell Junction, New York, and be it further resolved that the annual expenditure shall not exceed $16,760 for labor, equipment with an operator, and materials as needed, and be it further resolved that this contract will be for 3 years with a provision of 2 one-year extensions.
Second.
I think that was Linda. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Motion carries.
All right, the next resolution, 2024-47, I offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Resolved that the contract for professional services for the Hudson Hall feasibility study be awarded to KG&D Architects, private corporation, Mount Kisco, New York, in the amount not to exceed $158,000.
Second.
Thank you, Angela. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? The motion carries.
Next resolution, 2024-48. I offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Resolved that the contract for engineering services for the design of Hudson Hall mechanical upgrades be awarded to Barton and Lagodes, Albany, New York, in an amount not to exceed $214,800.
Second.
Thank you, Evis. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next resolution, 2024-49. I offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Resolved that the bid received for the Hudson Hall walkway, base bid in accordance with the specifications, be awarded to Contact Construction Technology, Carmel, New York, in the amount of $728,870.
Second.
Thank you, Linda. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Motion carries.
All right, my last resolution, 2024-50. I offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Resolved that the bid received for the roof renovations at physical plant, base bid and alternate number 1, in accordance with the specifications, be awarded to New Vista Designs General Contractors, LLC, in the amount of $65,000.
Thank you, Frank. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Motion carries. And Steve, I can't believe you went through those that
I
quickly.
know, that was impressive.
Yeah.
Use that cheat code.
That was impressive.
We went through it quickly, but I
Yes,
tell you,
yeah.
it took some time in committee, and we did spend the time.
No, no.
So I thank
there's
the
a-
committee for their
Yeah.
time.
There was a
and going
lot
through
there.
these.
I actually, myself, I had a question on one of the items that I asked Adam for. We had a local business, Labella, that was lower than Barton, and I believe it's low Judice, because I've worked with them before. But the answer was that Labella didn't actually take it as seriously as the others did. So that's one of the ones where you had 10 bidders anyway.
Yeah.
So it was kind of in the middle. So at any rate, thank you for the work of your committee.
Thank you.
Next committee report, Chair Fleslin, Personal and Community Relations.
Thank you. So Personnel and Community Relations met. We had the presentations that you have heard previously, as well as the updates on graduation. We also discussed the resolutions that are coming before us tonight. So I offer the following and move its adoption. Be it resolved that based upon the recommendation of the president of the college, the retirement of Nancy Moskowitz, Assistant Professor of Nursing in the Department of Nursing, is hereby granted effective August 21st, 2024. That approval is granted to pay the appropriate benefits earned, and in recognition of her dedicated service to Dutchess Community College, Professor Moskowitz will be granted emeritus status upon her retirement. And be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees extends its sincere appreciation to Professor Moskowitz for her valuable contributions to the college's educational program during her tenure, and wishes her the very best in her retirement and future endeavors. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes. I offer the following and move its adoption. Be it resolved that based upon the recommendation of the president of the college, the retirement of Colleen Trogish, Assistant Dean, Instruction and Learning in the Department of Instruction and Learning, is hereby granted effective August 31st, 2024. And be it further resolved that approval is granted to pay the appropriate benefits earned. In recognition of her dedicated service to Dutchess Community College, Ms. Trogish is granted emeritus status upon her retirement. And the Board of Trustees extends its sincere appreciation to Ms. Trogish for her valuable contributions to the college's educational program during her tenure, and wishes her the very best in future endeavors. Is there a second? Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution carries. I offer the following and move its adoption. Be it resolved that based upon the recommendation of the president of the college and the college's legal counsel, the Board of Trustees hereby approves entering into a settlement agreement with employee A 00001915 in the amount of $50,000. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution carries. That is it for personnel, Mr. Chairman.
You may have set a record as well. Thank you.
I read fast.
Yes, the next item on the agenda is report of the student trustee, Maya.
There really isn't much to report on except that the summer session started after the summer classes, so we're already a weekend and statistics is kicking our butt.
It did mine too, just.
Knock it out now.
Yeah.
We're going to knock it out now.
Yeah, knock it out
Believe me.
now.
I already have a midterm next week.
Oh, summer, yeah, speeds along there.
You won't regret it in the fall, though. It's over and behind you.
Tutoring.
Registered for 17 credits in the fall.
Good.
Wow.
That's excellent.
Any questions for Maya? Thank you. The next item on the agenda is report of the chairperson. Let me start out with admissions. We have what's called an Extended Student Day that was held April 20th. It attracted 211 students and their families, totaling over 530 guests. More than 70 students scheduled appointments with the ACT Center to register on that day or shortly thereafter. We also had Extended Student Day tailored to students and families from New York City on April 12th. Attendees embarked on a guided tour of the main campus and engaged with a panel of residence hall students who shared practical insights about thriving at DCC. The 2024-25 DCC to Vassar Exchange Program is underway. Each semester, up to 5 students are invited to participate in the program, where DCC students are given the opportunity to enroll in a class at Vassar College to facilitate upward educational and career mobility. This year, 5 of 16 star candidates were selected by our faculty to participate. They are, first, our new student trustee, Robert Biersack, Yasmin Shanoui, Caitlin Doyle, Gabrielle Gregory, and Taylor Matza. Trio student Aida Hernandez was selected for the Vassar College Exploring Transfer Summer Program, which is a 5-week residential program designed for community college students to experience life at a foreign institution. Students from all over the country are selected to participate, and we are proud Aida will represent Dutchess. Sarah Bocassini and Danita Thomas, 2 of DC's F1 Visa International students, have earned acceptance into the Vassar College Explore Transfer Scholar Program this summer. There's 3 different programs there at Vassar College, and it's a great partnership. On May 1st, the DCC Counseling Center kicked off Mental Health Awareness Month with students from our new Active Minds chapter and with the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the Council on Addiction, Prevention and Education, CAPE, and Mental Health America as community partners. As you heard earlier, housing applications have increased by 27 compared to this time last year, marking a significant achievement despite delays stemming from FAFSA. And the Residence Hall has established Conklin Chats as a fresh initiative to aid students in onboarding to Conklin Residence Hall preparing for college. These sessions will occur every Monday, running from June 3rd to August 19th, providing breakout rooms for tailored support. I also just want to mention that I was able to attend the DO Honors Awards held on campus, and it was really a great experience. I had no idea there were so many really hilarious faculty until I heard them speak. And with them having to name different students over and over, I thought, okay, can they keep it up? To a 1 they did. It was great. I'd also like to offer a resolution as part of my report. This is Resolution 2024-54. Whereas Ms. Maya Chinkin is retiring from the Board of Trustees of Dutchess Community College after 1 year of distinguished service as student trustee, and whereas during her tenure as a member of the board from 2023 to 2024, Ms. Chinkin served with honor and distinction, has been an outstanding representative of the board, and whereas Ms. Chinkin has served in several leadership positions, including member of the Dutchess Community College Student Government Association, and whereas Ms. Chinkin was a member of the DCC trustee delegation and one of 120 students nationally who participated in the Association of Community College Trustees 2024 National Legislative Summit and Annual Community College Advocacy Week on Capitol Hill. And whereas Ms. Chinkin provided guidance and support to the current president of Dutchess Community College, her fellow board members, and to the student body of DCC. And whereas upon her departure, the Board of Trustees wishes to recognize and commend Ms. Chinkin for her dedicated and devoted service as a member of the Board of Trustees, now therefore be it resolved. The Board of Trustees hereby extends appreciation to Ms. Chinkin for her dedication and commitment to the excellence of DCC, and be it further resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby approves this resolution on the occasion of Ms. Chinkin's departure from the board in recognition of her exemplary service to DCC, and be it further resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby grants Ms. Chinkin the status of trustee emeritus.
Make a motion for a unanimous second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, Maya. And it's been framed for you to carry around to remember us all the rest of your life.
Oh my God, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And that concludes my report. Yes, we'll do a photo afterwards.
Okay.
Again. And that concludes my report. The next item on the agenda is the President's report. Peter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to bring to the attention of trustees, each of you has a copy of the Falcons Call in front of you. I ask that you read it. Think of it as summertime reading, but I think you'll enjoy it. The second thing that you have is the Community, which is the DCC literary magazine as well. Good summer reading, so I hope that you'll enjoy both of those things. I want to continue my report by asking our vice presidents or members of the president's executive leadership team who are here to stand. You know.
Come on.
So I want to begin by saying thank you to each of these individuals who are great leaders of the president's executive leadership team. And it's because of these individuals that we got to start the year with the largest enrollment that we've had in about a decade. So I give you a round of applause. You may be seated. But it's also because of their great work that we were able to launch the grand opening of our mechatronics lab at Fishkill with none other than the First Lady of the United States present, along with the U.S. Secretary of Education. So big kudos to the leadership team and everyone who got behind that. But throughout the year, there were all of these high points that we got to celebrate, down to commencement about a week ago, which many of you, board trustees, got to attend. And that was the highlight of the year, because that's what we're here for, to educate individuals and to put them out into the world and into our community to serve this community. So the impact that we continue to have as a college and as a community college is remarkable. So I want to end by thanking each of you, our trustees, for your guidance, for your support, for your commitment to this community and to DCC as a college. Without you, I couldn't do what I do. Our leadership team couldn't do what they do. So thank you for allowing us to do some extraordinary work on behalf of Dutchess County and our region. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. And thank you for your kind words. It has been a long year. I didn't really thought about it until just now. Middle States, there's been a whole series of things that occurred. And not a long year, a great year, as you said, full of high points. And I also want to say that I thought that the graduation went off really, 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 really well. I know how much effort it took because I was there the day before watching the dry run. But it paid off in spades. And also, I don't think I've seen the students as happy. I kept thinking about it, and I realized many of them, if they were your traditional from high school, taking their first 2 years, they got to go back to school in person for 2 years. I think that made a difference because they were stuck during COVID with remote. And I would have been celebrating myself as well, in other words. So thanks to everyone. Are there any other items or anyone wants to add other business for the future agenda? There being none, a reminder, there is no June meeting. The next date is July 23rd. Otherwise, may I get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
So, and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. Maya, we'll miss seeing you.
Yes, Maya.
It's been a great year. Thank you.
Yeah.